Let us see what we have. Right, we just unlocked all sorts of stuff. So that's just the Agena, the BA5, I think, which is not actually useful to us right now because crappy-rated burn time. That is what is actually going to be useful to us. That engine. All right. So let's look. So the first thing we know we want to do is upgrade to this, I believe. Slightly higher specific impulse, and I'd be willing to bet it has higher reliability. Because, come on, oh, well, okay, so this has maximum reliability, 50 minutes MTBF. If we upgrade it, yes, it will have higher reliability. So let's go ahead and R&D it at the cheap level. Now, we can upgrade to that. Slightly higher specific impulse, slightly higher thrust, and it will have higher reliability. Is it worth 12 million? I think so, because I think the H1 reuses some of that. Hey, never have I been happier to be wrong about whether they would be scrubbing today. That was a wonderful launch to watch. That was glorious. $20 kilonewtons of thrust, slightly, so it's marginally better than what we have, but it will be more reliable. Probably worth the money. Don't see why not. Yeah, much more reliable. Okay, so that'll take 37 days to research. Now, we also just got an interesting option. So first, let's look at this. This is .366 kilonewtons, 313 seconds specific impulse. And where's the X4? There we are. It has 2 ignitions, good specific impulse, 155.3 kilonewtons. So I think I want that. That gives us interesting further options. Blowfish, yes, it is overreported, but only by a second or two. Because it just doesn't use that much HTP. The second ignition is stupendously helpful. What I would like to know is what sort of launch vehicle. What is its rated burn time? Don't even know yet, do we? Oh no, we'll get it from the TF config, won't we? Oh god, is it going to have a horrific TestFlight config? Probably. 195 seconds, that's it? Did I really? Yeah, alright. I guess it was really only supposed to be 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Not a great deal of burn time. So it's not... It won't be as future-proof as the Agena. The XLR-81. There. It won't be as future-proof as this, because this will have a rated burn time of 4 minutes, although the specific impulse is much, much better than the other. Also, the reliability of Agena B and D is quite good, and the reliability of that X405H can't be that hot. But whatevs. Also, it's going to be... I have to pay the cost for reigniting a pump-fed engine, which hasn't been researched before, but I would have to pay that cost for this relight too, so it's not actually a loss. All right, so let's go Keralox. Keralox Master Race. Yeah, $30 million, as expected. That's not cheap. Reliability is actually pretty decent in the end. Okay, so the question is, do I want to make a small launch vehicle or do I want to make a large launch vehicle? I think I'll make a somewhat small launch vehicle for now, because we'll need 10-foot tooling eventually for uppers, even if not for, like, I may want 12-foot tooling for a 3 LR79 lower stage, but for now we can do one of Ferrum's Thoropah. Large is probably going to be closer to 200 tons, and I don't think it'll fit on the pad. So I'll do a launch vehicle that's more like 100 tons. Because well, I mean, let's see. Oh, I don't have the avionics units yet, do I? No. All right, I guess we got to wait for the avionics unit. Oh, yeah, okay, good, I do. Right, because I have the 20-inch. Okay. What, 130 tons? We'll get both, because we'll be using both eventually. That's fine. All right, so yes, let's go ahead and design... Yeah, I'm gonna see what this will actually let us do. Blowfish, actually, I was thinking medium would be 2 LR-79s. And then the X45H for the upper. Which is about right. You're right that I could get away with just using an 8-foot core and 8-foot boosters and not have not incur tooling costs, but I think I'm going to want 10-foot and 12-foot tooling eventually. And I feel like that's gaming the system a little bit if I do. I don't know. The other problem is actually, yeah, it is actually somewhat tempting to make a packet stage Atlas because there's no tooling cost. But let's see what happens. So I'm actually going to load this so I don't have to remake all the parts. So get rid of this, get rid of this, replace it with that. And let's put some, we'll put a lead ballast tank in. Now, my impression is that I'm going to want an 8-foot stage for that X405H. A fairly short 8-foot stage, but an 8-foot stage nonetheless. So these go back to auto shape. This goes up to, what is this in metric? 2.438. Okay. All right, we're going to need the same RCS setup on the big thing. So it's probably 2.3 something, 2.438. Don't need it to be highly pressurized. Oops, wrong way. 2.3 will do for now. That's a problem, which I had not considered, which is guidance. Because we don't have We don't have any kind of half-decent guidance yet at all. And we need something that will survive a relight. How heavy is this? 0.86. That's fine. Wait, these diameters are not making sense. Oh, because Proc Parts bugged out. That's why. Right. Okay, fine. Switch. Put this back on. Put this on. Put this on. We'll call this the Corgi. Put this on. Load it back up. So many bees. Corgi. All right. Blowfish, I am scared of the cost of balloon tanks. Like, seriously scared. They're so expensive. They're like almost... They will make this launch vehicle... Well, for the final stage, I don't know. But, like, certainly if the core were balloon tanks, the LV would cost half again as much and the launch cost would be double. So, I want to see what I can do without balloon tanks. I don't want to have to deal with balloon tanks. Why are there two mixtures there? That's really weird. Looks like the verniers and the main use different mixtures. That's kind of a bug. Which is the... Well, let's figure out which the main is. So this is going to be the main. And it's 19.4. over 15.4035 plus 30.683 plus 0.7313. Is 38.18. So it's the upper one, as expected, because it's the first engine it hits. That is, if somebody can post that on the issue, that needs to be fixed. Blowfish, you're not wrong. That is a very good point. That is a very good point. Although I've also done non-balloon Centaurs as well. So, I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's see what we get. Oops. Shoot. 2.438. And we have 3 minutes and 15 seconds. All right, now we can bring the utilization up to something sane. Okay. So, we're at 11 tons. Five tons. Heh. Heh, heh, heh. Yeah, we desperately need the Delta Guidance Unit. How long? Oh, I can't tell how long that is until it's researched because it's in the R&D complex. let's say we wanted to put let's say we wanted to send 800 kilograms to the moon. That seems like a fairly hefty payload. Where the heck is... Oh, there it is. That was weird. Set to debris on stage. Okay. Let's try that. Now, these little fellers need to come out, and they need to grow a little bit. All right. Also, can we upgrade the RCS at all yet? No, we can't. That is a shame. Yeah, there's an explanation being created, but the TLDR version is that when you make a proc tank of a given size, you have to tool it. That's the equivalent of paying an entry cost. Then you can, if you change its size, if you stretch it vertically, you have to pay a minor tooling cost. If you change the diameter, then you have to pay a big tooling cost. And it's the same for any procedural part. No longer do you freely get to create your rockets as you like. You actually have to pay entry costs even if you're using procedural parts. And that represents the factory tooling that has to occur. Okay. So oh yeah, that's right. I was making the small, not the big. I mean, we could use this as the third stage. Yeah, let's use this as the third stage on something nice and big. Makes everybody happy. Okay, extra height. Okay. Oh yeah, we're going to do an 8-foot, which is going to be a short and fat stage, but whatever. Base 3.048. There we go. Bottom 3.048. Now we have a 10-foot stage. And we'll put a guidance unit on. That was correct, yes. Non-proc tanks already have entry costs, so you don't need to tool them. Man, if I knew if I'd remembered I was making the big one, I wouldn't have called it Corgi. I would have called it something chunkier. Although I'm not immediately sure what is a big dog name that starts with C. Oh yeah. And I have to set that to debris as well. It shouldn't really matter because it won't be going orbital, but I probably should default those to true for guidance units, actually. Who knows? Okay. So there's that. We're going to need one of you. Goodbye. 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 Now, the LR-105. 12 million space bucks. And by space bucks, I mean dollars. Upgrade it to that, which cost a lot. A shockingly large amount, actually. Research it. And this needs to be way shorter. Probably more like that. $38.2 top. Something like that. Let's get a little more separation there. Can we get away with... Oops, wrong way. Wrong thing to click on. Right thing to click on. That looks better. All right. Okay. And we can do up to... this has a 5-minute, 30-second burn time, but I don't think we have... Which LR-105 is that? It's the one from Bluedog Design Bureau. With a reskin by yours truly. To make it not black. Yeah, the real question is how long are we going to try to burn this? I think we probably can't do 3-stage beyond about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I think that'll be too heavy on the pad. Yeah, we're already up to 46 tons. All right, so now we need the bottom, which is, I guess, going to be 12 foot. Okay, let's get rid of these. Okay. I think that a 10-foot core for 3 LR79s is just going to be too tall. But we'll see. I think I have to go to a 12-foot core. Yeah, no, I know I do because I've done this before. I have to go to a 12-foot core. But you know what? Just for the sake of argument, let's see how tall it actually is with a 10-foot core. Did I already check? No. Now it's fixed. Extra height. Okay. Well, we don't need verniers at all. That's for sure. Okay, 3.048. Uh, 3.6576. What even is that? All right. Okay. So we might not even need the widening that badly. No, I guess there's... Yeah, if we don't cover all the bells, then there's room to gimbal. All right, so now let's see how big we need to make this stage. Why does that keep getting offset? $39.29. Okay, so we have... Oh, yeah, and I forgot the roll control. That's what's going on. We want only one of you. And we want to fire it through the center of mass. So let's get it fairly close and aim it. It's about right. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. You should be in the next stage. You should be down here. Clamps need to go here. We actually, I guess I will add some ullage motors for this. Blowfish, yes, I am far less willing to abuse 8-foot tooling than you. I'm trying to play this reasonably as a testing career. I'm not trying to min-max quite insanely. Yeah, and we need some retros. Okay, 2.7 seconds, that's fine for ullaging. Now what are we looking at? This and those. And the RCS, because we'll use RCS to ullage the third stage. Fairings need to go down here. All right, now what are we looking at? Total is not even that heavy. It's because we, yeah. All right. So far it's not insanely tall. Let's stretch it. That's bad. Okay. Let's reattach. Reattach. Now let's try stretching it. Now it's working. Okay. That's better. Yeah, so we went over 150 tons, that's for sure. It's not that tall a launch vehicle. Is it too tall? It's too tall. Yeah, so this is not a launch vehicle we can launch on this pad. Oh, did I use the right? I bet I didn't upgrade these. Yeah, that's why. All right. I would hope it would be almost lunar delta V because that's what I've been aiming for. Let's try. My guess is this stage needs to shrink a little. Let's try 4 minutes and 10 seconds. We're at 170 tons. Let's try 4 minutes and 10 seconds. And then stretch this. That's making almost no difference. Yeah, that's giving us way more delta V than stretching the core. I guess the mass ratio is actually fairly reasonable up there. Let's go 2 minutes, 20 seconds. I'm tempted to stretch it out a little bit further. Blowfish, you're absolutely right. We will have to over-provision locks. I forgot about that part. Five seconds of... All right, so what is the actual volume involved? The actual volume involved is 6950. And we're at 721. So Close enough. And we'll add 250 kilos of LOX. And that will crater our delta V. Yes. Yes, it will. Blowfish, is 250 kilos about right, or is that too much? Because I feel like that might be a little bit too much over provisioning, but I don't know. No worries. We'll find out. I'm going to go for like 150. Which means 7,100. So let's do the same trick we did before. We want 69.58. We'll put the remainder here. We'll remove that. We'll fill it. We'll remove that, and we'll put it in LOX. All right. So it appears that what I actually need to do is I actually need to just use 4 of these things. Like, we'll just make a genuinely heavy launch vehicle. Because if we have to go over 150 tons anyway, we'll just do that. So, all right, let's. So we'll save this for now. And we'll make a 12-foot. Oops. 3.6576, right? So 5.8. Okay, and then three point 658, 3.657. Huh, interesting. Those are on the 45s. Do I want that, or do I want them cardinal? Blowfish, well, it'll change depending on your coast period is the problem. Do I want... Yeah, I think for historicity, I'm going to go ahead and make them cardinal so that you can have one doing pitch, two that basically so they can have only 1 degree gimbaling. Also, in reality, you'd probably trunk the exhaust together, so let's do that. Come on. Yeah. All right. Okay. Now that is a proper looking rocket. Stretch it a bit. Let's try 2 minutes and 40. And yeah, so 3-stage version of this is depressing. And that's definitely lunar class Delta V, even with the over provisioning. Which means with a payload that's lighter than freaking 800 kilograms, we can easily go interplanetary with this. Now look at how expensive it is with the, because nothing's tooled. Blowfish, yeah, it's because it's 3-stage. I could take that down to 235. I also considered not having this quite as long, but I think we lose more Delta V at this point. So let's take this down to 235. And that's much closer to standard. I usually aim for 1.2, so that's fine. .19 is pretty good. So this will have, which means if we put a Centaur up here, which we will, this will actually have only 1.18 probably, and that's fine. Another 5 tons won't make a big difference. And this will be our standard launch vehicle for quite some time, I bet. So now let me go ahead and open the Corgi and fix it to just be a 2-stage jobby. Although I don't know about what the burnout thrust to weight ratio will be. We'll find out. Okay, so what are the numbers on this? Well, actually, we can just do it this way, can't we? Oops. Get rid of you. Put you there. Move this down. Fix the tanks. And we want just 2 of these. Yeah, the burnout thrust to weight ratio is going to be kind of nuts. .5 Gs. Not the best. Not the best. In fact, I'm not even sure this will serve. Let's look. Oh yeah, we don't need these anymore. Okay. That's about right. That's about right. All right, so we can actually loft a reasonable payload with this thing. It will have high first stage burnout Gs. But this is what we'll use to put a capsule in orbit, because we really don't need that much more. And eventually we'll uprate this in the same way that Titan was uprated to Titan 2 by going to a 10-foot second stage. Replace these with H1s, put a 10-footer on here with an LR-105, and that'll be enough to get like 3 or 4 tons in orbit. And that'll be enough to do rendezvous and docking stuff. Possibly even a 3-stage with an LR-105 second and then this for third, but I don't know. Maybe, yeah, because I mean 2 H1s is like almost like 40% more thrust than this. So that should be okay. We should be able to put a good payload into orbit with that. All right, that's my guess on the delta V that I'm going to need. Okay, I'm not actually going to do the tooling yet. Because we kind of need to unlock some more stuff, like controllable probes. With that unlocked, then we can go for lunar orbit, then we can go for geostationary orbit. Hey, my paint scheme is my trademark. Man, our build rate is quite high, isn't it? We need to up our science rate a lot. We need to up our science rate so much. I mean, this will help, but it's not enough. So we could do this with a corgi. but it doesn't pay as well as a sounding rocket contract, which is kind of crazy. Wow, that's really uh-huh. This we need. That we really need something controllable to do. We could at least do these now. Can do this with a Corky. We launch to like 160 by 300 and then circularize at 300 with the relight. And then clean it up on RCS. Could do that fairly easily. Does not pay as well as you'd think it would. Yeah, these need to get changed. Let me make a note of that. What was the other thing I was saying I should fix? Oh, the X405. Mixture. And there was something else that I just saw. I don't remember what it was. Okay. There are those bugs. Okay. So yeah, we kind of have to twiddle our thumbs for at least 40 days while the engines are getting researched. Then I guess I might as well build a booster test. Make it a Doberman because it's more expensive, but it'll test all 3 stages. What should we do with it? We don't have any Tesla Roadsters on hand. Can we chuck... Can we try to do an actual mission with it? I guess we could use it for the Molnia contract, because we don't need guidance for that. We can do that with a kick motor. So, although I will have to very carefully math that, because it has a minimum eccentricity, which means that if our kick motor raises our perigee too high, that'll upset the eccentricity requirement. But anyway, I think I'm good for the night. So thank you everybody for watching, and hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.